Good evening. I'm sorry I can't be with you in person tonight at the Rays of Light in the Darkness event. At the last minute, I was called away to Eastern Europe for meetings about the situation in Ukraine and U.S. strategy in the region. But please know that I'm deeply honored that EMET has named me a Speaker of Truth this year. And I deeply appreciate EMET's efforts to communicate the truth about the threats we face in the Middle East region today. With images of beheadings, bombings, and armed conflict dominating the evening news, elected officials and the public are well aware of the rising turmoil in the Middle East. But to formulate an effective response to these threats, a deeper understanding of them is needed. And this is why EMET's tireless work to develop that deeper understanding is so valuable. Over the coming weeks, the United States may reach an agreement with the Ayatollahs in Iran on that regime's nuclear weapons program. There'll be much debate about the agreement in Congress and in the public, with complicated arguments over enrichment levels, centrifuge technology, and forms of sanctions relief. But at base, the important question is a simple one. Does the agreement dismantle Iran's nuclear weapons program or not? Dismantlement of Iran's nuclear program should be the objective of U.S. policy towards Iran. In fact, that used to be the stated policy of the Obama administration until it backtracked from that position. If the agreement with Iran does not dismantle the Ayatollah's nuclear weapons program, then the agreement should be rejected, sanctions strengthened, and the credible threat of military force restored. It's important to be clear on why Iran must be denied nuclear weapons capability. It's because Iran is ruled by a radical and tyrannical theocratic regime. The Iranian Constitution states that Iran's Army and Revolutionary Guard will be responsible for fulfilling the ideological mission of jihad in God's way by extending the sovereignty of God's law throughout the world. The Ayatollahs have tried to make good on that edict. Iran is the worst state sponsor of terrorism, funding groups that seek to destroy Israel and foment unrest throughout the Middle East. And Iran has been killing Americans for over 35 years by sponsoring terror against U.S. servicemen and civilians. For me, personally, Iran supplied the most lethal roadside bombs to insurgents, enabling them to kill and maim thousands of American troops in Iraq and Afghanistan. My soldiers and I knew that Iranian-supplied bombs were the one thing our armored vehicles couldn't withstand. All we could do was hope it wasn't our day to hit one. My platoon was lucky. Too many others were not. With the deadline for an agreement with Iran approaching, I often think of the words of Churchill. In late 1936, Churchill spoke on the years of British appeasement in the face of German rearmament. He observed, "The era of procrastination, of half measures, of soothing and baffling expedients, of delays is coming to a close. In its place, we are entering a period of consequences." I believe Churchill's words are true of the world today. As Iran continues its progress toward nuclear weapons capability, as its economy rebounds from earlier sanctions, as its regional influence waxes, and as President Obama's tenure wanes, our choices will be clarified, and the consequences along with them. We must choose wisely. And to do so, we must continue to speak the truth about the threats facing the United States, our allies, and the rest of the free world. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.